Hello, welcome. This is another episode of the Chai Tea Tai Chi podcast with Andrew and Dane and Andrew. So we're here to talk about how to get the most out of your Tai Chi class. So Dane, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent.
It's good to hear. Well, we've done a lot of these episodes, so it's going pretty well. I think we're having some good response, getting comments here and there. So today I'd like to go through this topic where people come to these classes, they study what they can, they try to absorb what they can, but some do better than others based on their own past experiences and how they understand martial arts and how they practice fitness and all that stuff. So I'd like to ask you, Dane, what do you do to get the most out of your Tai Chi classes?
Well, you just made me think of another thing, another idea about that. I had several ideas in mind, actually, but you just made me think of another one, which is to come with an empty cup. Come with a beginner's mind. And in martial arts, this is a thing where a lot of times, if somebody has previous martial arts experience and they go to a new martial arts class, it can be very tempting to go, oh, I already know this, and this is just like this other thing that we did, and in my style we do it this way, and really get into your head about what you already know, and that gets in the way of learning new things and being able to really understand and appreciate what something new is about. So basically, as much as possible, coming with free from preconceptions or expectations, and really take in the material as a beginner would. And then another thing that I see people doing that kind of gets in their own way in Tai Chi class is to be the other thing. The way to get the most is to do the opposite of this, which is to focus on your own experience, because people will get in their way sometimes by focusing on other people's experience, whether sometimes it's by the way of comparison, by just comparing themselves to others, by paying attention too much to more than necessary to what other people are doing, or even sometimes trying to help and coach and teach others when they really would do best by focusing that attention on themselves. Focus on perfecting your own practice, and don't worry about other people's progress or whether they're better and worse than you or compare to them, and let the teacher do their job of guiding and instructing the class, so you can focus on getting the most for your benefit from while you're there.
I've taken a few classes where the teacher asks that the students be basically silent, like unless they want to talk to the teacher, don't talk to each other, don't interface, just kind of keep practicing, because as soon as you talk, you interrupt the practice and you're not practicing because you're talking now. And it kind of ruins the experience for both people in many ways. So.
Yeah, that's really true. Talking, and one of the other things I would say to get the most out of your practice is kind of obvious, but it's really stands worth mentioning, is be present. Present and mindful. That's the whole point of Tai Chi class, because Tai Chi is not just calisthenic physical exercise. It involves body, breath, and mind components, and it's practiced in a certain state of concentration, a certain state of consciousness, and definitely, talking can interrupt that. It can very easily interrupt that and create more of a social environment rather than a contemplative one. And so focusing on your own experience really goes hand in hand with being present and focusing your attention inward on what's going on within you, and that's how you get the most value out of the time that you spend in Tai Chi class. And then over and above that, also, and kind of related to suspending judgment, because and this also applies to self or other, because all judgment comes from the same place. People who tend to judge others also tend to judge themselves, and vice versa. People who are really critical also feel really guilty, and vice versa.
Mm.
So noticing, I mean, it's one thing to notice and be aware of flaws or errors in one's own form or in others. You know, that's a necessary part of learning. But what I mean by judgment is is self-recrimination, like noticing that you're not perfect and feeling guilty, getting down on yourself, and or feeling critical towards other people, like in a superior way or in a judgmental way, and so you have to be able to observe observe without judgment, be just awareness with it, non-judgmental awareness, in order to continually correct and improve, because you have to have awareness in order to correct and improve your form. You have to have non-judgmental awareness, because otherwise, if you feel guilty about doing it wrong, you'll eventually stop doing it. You'll just turn yourself off to it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've started a form, gotten maybe 2 or 3 moves in, and just totally either forgotten or lost my place, and it's like, just start over. No big deal. It's not a critical thing. Just, you're practicing. That's the point. You mess up and you start again. You know, performance and practice are completely different. You try not to reset during performance. I've had a few flub ups during performance too, where I was just like, I don't know what to do next. I look at my teacher and he's like, it's like, oh yeah, that move. So yeah, that's a good thing. No expectation is something I try to tell people. Like, have no expectations about what's going to happen, what your opponent's going to do, because until they do it, you have no idea what they're going to do. And you have to just receive it and let it happen and just let the process unfold. It does itself. You don't have to do anything. It does itself.
Yeah, and related also to, I guess, extending that idea of focusing on your own experience by being present and suspending judgment. Extending that whole idea is relax physically and mentally. And because of course this is something that people who go to Tai Chi classes are used to saying is relax, relax more.
Relax. I say relax at least 30 times every class.
and I remember way back when I was beginning, and the teacher would say relax. I think I am relaxed, because I thought I was. But I didn't realize. And the physical and the mental relaxation component. For one thing, if you're going to class regularly, for a lot of people that might be the one chance they get all day to experience a relaxed consciousness, a relaxed meditative state of mind, and to release the chronic muscle tension that most of us carry around most of the day. So if you're going to a Tai Chi class and you're having that experience, definitely take advantage of that opportunity to get as deep as you can into that relaxed state of consciousness, that relaxed state of mind and body and way of being. And don't worry so much. It's more about the state than it is about the details and the specifics and the techniques. It's what you want to most of all be doing is practicing in a relaxed state of body and mind. And really, because if you're not doing that, you're really wasting your time, not to sound harsh about it, but you're not getting nearly as much value from the experience as you could. Maybe you're just standing and waving your arms around, but if you're not relaxing in body and mind, then you're missing out on the huge benefits that you could be getting in terms of stress reduction and health and wellness and energy and all those kinds of things.
I like that. Yeah. Well, one of the things I try to tell people, obviously relax. And then whenever I push hands with someone, I can instantly feel tension in their arm because they're pushing against you. It's like, hey, you need to calm down, just relax. But just focus on the moment, like you were saying. And the way I get people to do this is I have meditation breaks. So we have an hour-long class. I try to do meditation maybe 3 times throughout the class. Like the first thing I do is like, okay, we're gonna learn to breathe, and we do a breathing technique, and we just stay perfectly still. And then after our warm-up, after our little stretches, I like to say, okay, let's do a standing meditation, and like the traditional John Zhuang. And then at the end of class, it's the like Qi ball. Like I like to do the Qi ball meditation, because some people actually like, oh wow, that's the first time I've ever felt that. So what kind of meditations do you like to do, and what kind of spacing do you put in your class?
Well, I guess really it's what I was saying about it, about being in a certain state. The idea is to first you have to learn to recognize that kind of state, and then you have to learn to cultivate it, and then you expand and extend it throughout your practice, and then you extend and expand it beyond the bounds of your practice and throughout your day. So I guess I would say that as much the aim should be to make the whatever the class time is, whatever that window of class time is, to extend it, make the entire thing a meditative experience to some degree, and just focus on maintaining that state steadily, maintaining your state, and notice what takes you out of state. There are certain things that take you out of state if you're a student in a class, and this is what you have to do as a teacher, as an instructor, is manage the energy of the space and hold the envelope so that people are able to do this. And noticing certain things will take you out of state, like distractions, outside sounds from out on the street, or sounds from inside, or stuff from inside your own head will distract you. So really the practice is about maintaining that state and not allowing, even if you notice a distraction, if you perceive a distraction, don't allow it to pull you away as much as you can help. So if like a really loud motorcycle goes by when you're standing in Zhan Zhuang, some people like turn and look.
Yep.
Why? You don't have to. It doesn't. It's just you're letting it pull you out of state. So and it's similarly when you're doing more complicated things, if you're doing the form, or you're practicing more complicated movements, or you're practicing push hands, don't let those things pull you out of state. Also, let as much as possible maintain your state in the face of whatever might try to pull you out of it.
Yeah, well, I teach my class Saturday mornings, and many times there's a garbage truck, and it comes by, and it's so loud, and it picks up a can, and it's like we're doing the middle of meditation. It's just it's a big challenge, and then I look around and I see who is actually like turning to look, and then who is just maintained, doesn't even bother them. And usually the people who've been there at least 2 to 3 times, they're the ones who can just sit there and it's like nothing happened, didn't matter.
Right. So anything that happens in your environment can be material for your meditation if you choose to allow it to be. And so instead of letting it disturb your awareness, allow it to come in and be part of your awareness, and just hold that, and meditate on that, on whatever the distraction is.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, so one of the things that I like to do during my Tai Chi classes is a little bit of conditioning. So I think that because Tai Chi is a exercise, you should make sure that you have a little bit of, maybe not soreness, but you should definitely feel like you worked out a little bit. So I like to do either leg conditioning or some kind of balance exercise. And during that time, people, depending on their level, they can stick with it, or they'll be falling over left and right. So how would you help your students improve their balance by like finding a meditative state and then like, okay, now lift your leg and just hold and don't lose it? Or what would you do?
Yeah, well, balance is actually a great example of maintaining state, and specifically the state of balance. If the point of practice is to practice in a state of relaxation and centeredness and equilibrium.
Yeah.
So in structure. So if in Tai Chi, if you're doing a balance exercise and you're throwing yourself off balance and you're noticing that you're creating tension and you're getting wobbly and you're getting top heavy and you're holding your breath and these kinds of things, that's a sign that you're out of state. Like, you're breaking your state. You're pushing too hard or trying too much, and you're breaking your state. So remember that the point is not to stretch it, until it breaks down. The point is to maintain your state and do the exercise at whatever level you are able to maintain the state of balance, and that will increase over time. Like I just recently, actually, we have the 90 days of Qigong videos that are up on YouTube, free for everybody to watch. They're also here on Facebook, and that's designed to get you addicted to Qigong. Just follow and watch along, or watch and follow along one video per day. And they're gentle, easy, relaxed exercises, very gentle balance exercises. But my buddy Mark, just recently, I talked to him, and I got him started actually 6 months ago on that, and he was sending me updates all along. He was up to like day 36, day 45, day 79, up past day 90. And he just told me just recently when I talked to him, he's actually up to day 180. He'd been doing it. He did all the things twice over. He'd been doing Qigong continuously every day for 6 months, and he was telling me about all the stuff that was happening. Like, he was sleeping better, had more energy. Some of his injuries had rehabilitated to the point that he had actually gotten off his pain medication.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love Qigong. It's so good. It's so good.
and he also told me that he's actually able to balance on one leg now, whereas when he started, he couldn't even do that. But now he's actually able to do that. So that is something that specifically by practicing in a state of balance, you will increase your balance over time. And if you go outside of that, if you're practicing in a state where you're off balance or you're struggling to maintain your balance, not to be cruel about it, but you're really wasting your time. You're not getting any better at balancing. You're getting better at being out of balance, if that's how you're practicing. So that's an example of maintaining the state, and not trying to make it look like anything, not stretching beyond your limits, but just maintaining the most serene, relaxed state as you can while you're working within your accessible range.
Yeah, I like what you said about the balance improves over time. That's 100% true. You're not going to get better at balance unless you practice your balance, because it's not going to happen just, oh, I thought about it and now I have good balance. It's actually muscles you're developing in your foot, very small little muscles that you don't really use normally because you don't force yourself to do those kind of things. And I was getting a massage, and the woman was working on my feet, and she's like, oh, wow, what is with your foot? There's this one muscle in here that everyone else is pretty small, and it's usually like the weak thing, and it makes them hurt. But you barely reacted, and it's super strong. It's super big. And I'm like, yeah, well, I do Tai Chi. And like, I practiced 15 years now. And she's like, oh my God, this is amazing. I've never seen a muscle like this. So I was like, awesome. So I guess it's real. It's not just me, pretending that I do this stuff. So, all right. Well, do you have any other points you want to make before we sign off?
Well, I mean, of course, I want to let people know if you want to learn more with this, especially if you want to learn more physically. I mentioned the 90 days of Qigong videos that we have. Those are free for anybody to watch. You can also, of course, join our online learning.
Where can we find them, by the way?
They're here on our Facebook page, and they're also they're also on YouTube, the Tai Chi YouTube channel,
Okay.
90 Days of Qigong, and for those for that's something that anybody anywhere pretty much who can watch and follow along with some videos can develop their own daily practice, and they can go even deeper with our online learning community where we have over a dozen hours and growing of detailed instructional video footage for developing your own personal mind-body practice. So and if you're lucky enough to be in San Diego, of course, you can join us on Meetup for our Saturday morning Tai Chi classes and other things we got going on, workshops, including our upcoming Universal Tai Chi workshop. And you can also talk to us about private training in San Diego as well, because that's also something we do.
Yes. Thank you for that.
And workshops. We do workshops anywhere. There's workshop information on our website, on the Tai Chi website. So yeah, those are ways that you can learn more about this stuff.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Dane. I'm glad you got time to meet up today. So hopefully you can come up to a meetup sometime soon and come out. I want to have you as a guest teacher as soon as you get back in town, so you can get back in that group. Because everyone, a lot of people come in, they're like, "Man, the last time I was here, Dane was here," and it's like, "Wow, you haven't been here in like 2 years then." So people still miss you, and they remember you, so they want you to come back.
I'm really glad to have the opportunity to talk about these topics and help people learn about these amazing practices that help you feel amazing. So thanks a lot for coming on. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. All right. Thanks very much, Dane. Have a good day.
See you next time.